All right. It says we're live. Man, people, it's like, let's start the show.
They're here waiting, aren't
Let's do
they?
it. Two
Y'all
minutes.
let us know if you can hear us. 2x4 right now.
Yes.
Can you
And
hear us?
we do 2x4 because we're not doing 5x5. We're doing a 2x4 because I'm a contractor. So that's why we're doing it.
Because we're
So
just weird that way.
yeah. All right.
Hey, there's Rosie. Can you hear us, Rosie? All
Forrest,
right, Forrest got a 2x4. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Kentucky Sustainable Living, where we talk about all things festival. Tonight on our live, we've got Mike Adkins with us. I'm super excited about this. He's going to be teaching a land nav class at the festival. And for all you people that are like me that don't know what that is, it's orienteering for real. And he's also an author. So, yeah, I'm super excited. Great to have you, Mike.
I appreciate you. I appreciate the invitation. Thank you.
Yeah, Mike, it's good to have you back. I get to spend another hour with you. So it was funny, kind of inside baseball. I sent Mike the link this morning. It's like, hey, Mike, here's the link to the live tonight. And he sends me a text back a little while later. He's like, I was on a podcast this morning, the audio, we couldn't get it to work. He's like, can we do a test? And I'm like, yeah, just a minute. So I came down, set up a test one. Audio's fine, all that. And then we just start talking. And I look, and it's like, we've been on here for an hour. I was like, holy crap. So we just, I hit it off. We were talking about all kinds of stuff, went down rabbit holes and all that. And I'm like, cool. I was like, I've got to go get some work done, but I'll be back in a little while and we'll talk again. So I had fun this morning, honestly. It was good sitting there talking.
Yep.
So, but Mike, not everybody knows who Mike is. So tell us, start in how you got in from, being in the military to writing books to coming to our festival and all that good stuff.
Well, so I joined the military 17. I graduated high school actually in Kentucky. I didn't tell you this. There used to be a military high school in Kentucky, Millersburg Military Institute. I don't know if you ever heard of it, over near Paris, Kentucky. And I was raised in West Virginia. We moved down to Kentucky, and I went to my junior and senior year there in Kentucky. So I graduated high school in Kentucky. Graduated 17, was accepted to the United States Military Academy at West Point. And so at 17 years old, I'm in New York at West Point. And 2 years into that, it didn't work out, and I left. And it went straight into to the Army, active duty. And I already knew that I wanted to pursue a career in special operations. And so it takes some time to set that up. Nowadays, you can join the military as with a special forces contract. When I joined, you couldn't do that. So I went from the infantry. I was in the airborne infantry. I was in first the 509th Parachute Infantry Regiment in Fort Polk, Louisiana. Then I was in the 82nd Airborne Division in Fort Bragg. And then from there, I tried out for Special Forces and was accepted, and went to 7th Special Forces Group as an 18 Charlie, which is a Special Forces Engineer Sergeant. So my first specialty within Special Forces was explosives and construction. That's what the engineer does. Ended up as part of career progression, my leadership team recommended I become a Special Forces Intelligence Sergeant. It's just kind of an advancement after you've been there for a while. So I did that for a while, and then I was recruited to go become a Special Operations Warrant Officer, and then returned to the team as an Assistant Detachment Commander. That was beneficial for me in one major way, is that as a non-commissioned officer, you typically only get X number of years. Usually it's around 3 to 5 years on an A team, which we refer to as an ODA, or Operational Detachment Alpha. And then you got to go off and do an instructor tour somewhere, usually at the Special Warfare Center. Well, when I went to the warrant course, it reset my time on the team. So I went right back to an ODA and got an additional 6 years. So I got 11 consecutive years on an A team. During that time, Did 11 various deployments. 3 of those were combat deployments on an ODA in Afghanistan. And then came back, ended up retiring in 2013. Walked right into a job training special operations. At the time, there was a program that was training human behavior pattern recognition and analysis. It's what is generally referred to as profiling. For those people are familiar with like criminal profilers, like Criminal Minds, those TV shows. It wasn't like that. This was designed to help soldiers identify likely terrorist threats, not criminal threats, terrorist threats. I was flying all over the world doing that. They had me all over the United States, Japan, Alaska, Hawaii, and but there was always gaps between those classes, and that allowed me to expand into the unconventional warfare realm, and started also doing unconventional warfare training. So for those that aren't familiar with unconventional warfare training, think World War II, when the Office of Strategic Services dropped troops in behind the enemy lines in France, and they trained up the locals to fight the Germans. That's the idea behind it. We did it in Vietnam, we did it in Afghanistan, and that is the final phase of the Special Forces qualification course. So you have to be a Green Beret to teach that. So I ended up getting tied into that with both the Army Special Forces course, which the Special Forces qualification course. Their exercise there is called Robin Sage. And then the Marine Corps is now authorized to do unconventional warfare too. So they have a similar exercise. So then I began working there as well. A few years ago, Canada revived their unconventional warfare program after being dormant for 72 years since the end of World War II.
Wow.
And they reached out to me. I went up there and I led the very first class, returning that skill set to the Canadian Special Forces. And so I was kind of bouncing between the three exercises: training the Marine Corps Special Operations, training the Army Special Forces, and training Canadian Special Forces. I was in 7th Special Forces Group when I was active, which has the responsibility for Central and South America. So I also speak Spanish. So I was going down. I was training the Colombian, not Columbia, South Carolina, Columbia, South America, training the Colombian Special Forces as well. So I was kind of bouncing around all over the place doing this. There were still gaps, and I tend to have difficulty sitting still. So in the middle of those, when I wasn't training soldiers, I began training civilians and law enforcement here in West Virginia. I started my own training company for a while. It was Charlie Mike Solutions, which is no longer going. I've shut it down. But we trained backcountry survival. We had a special course for training children survival course. There was a course for parents called Surviving with Children. Their hostage survival and escape. But our trauma management course. But our largest one was the land navigation. That was a huge hit. What that ended up, it was big. I was running it for civilians, but what ended up happening was we ended up getting a lot of soldiers and Marines, and even some sailors that were preparing for Special Forces assessment and selection, which is very land navigation heavy. So they started coming to my course, treating it as a preparatory course to attend the military selection courses. So the land navigation course was wildly popular, far and away the most popular course that I had at the time. I'll still run one of those every once in a while on special requests for folks, but typically I don't do it anymore. Although there's been talk, right?
Just a little bit of talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the type of person, if you give me an inch, I've ripped it already out a mile. Jelly's already found a spot we can do it and everything else. And I'm like, let's do it. So yes, there's been a little bit of talk. So
yeah. But during all this, I was on the road a lot, as you can imagine, because the Army training is in North Carolina, the Marine Corps training was in South Carolina. So my commute to work was often, 6 to 8 hours, and I would listen to books. And my genre that I prefer is post-apocalyptic dystopian fiction. So to Shelley's question, how did I get there? There's the original version right there. We've had a re-release since then. He's got the OG.
And I didn't even know I had the OG.
There's not a whole lot of those out there. Most of them are the new ones. So what I found was that I really enjoyed the genre is the bottom line. And but there was something that I always felt I was still looking for. The authors I listened to, I'm very impressed with them. There's some absolute top-notch talent in this genre. I mean, the authors that I've been listening to for years now, I've listened to hundreds in this genre. Their depth of knowledge and understanding of the subject is phenomenal. I think what was missing was maybe because of the military aspect that my mindset. I still had that tied to my thinking process. I wanted something a little bit different, and that led me to start this series. I had written one book before. It was not in this genre. It was political satire, and I didn't want to continue with that one. I wanted to move on. I felt like this was a good fit for me. The initial reviews coming back from the book, from this book, are very positive. So I'm hopeful that I'm accepted within the post-apocalyptic community of readers. And book one, as you know, is already out. You've got it, and then the re-release has come out. Book two is scheduled for release on Monday on Amazon. Now, that's what Amazon says. So if you go on their money and it's not there, it's not my fault. It's Amazon's fault. But it'll be there certainly sometime next week. But it's forecast for Monday to be available.
Will you have them both for the festival? Will you be selling them both?
I am going to bring them with me to the festival. Yes, ma'am. Yay. I'll have both book one and book two. So if you want to come by, get one, or if you've got one, you want to bring it by and get an autograph, I'd be happy to help. Here's what I figured out for when we went up to Ohio. We were just talking about this up at Millersburg. I figured out that I love talking to the folks that have read the book. They are so interesting, smart. They've got different perspectives, and it was absolutely fascinating. That was an unexpected treat because I haven't done that before, right? I haven't interacted. Well, I've only interacted once or twice with people that have read the book about the book, and getting to do that up there. Wow. Like I'm super impressed with the readers, and looking forward to doing it again down there.
Oh yeah.
It's like Ian read his copy in a couple days, so he really liked it.
So I've had several people tell me they crushed it in 2 days. One guy, my buddy Lance, he said he did it in 12 hours.
I did mine, I think, in 5 days because I read at night before I go to bed, and I kept falling asleep. And I was read more, but I would fall asleep. It's not that it's not interesting, but it's just, it's 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, man, I'm into this thing. But then you're just like, boom, and you're out. And I'm like, crap.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Mike, that means that you rank, because he's normally reading his Bible before he goes to bed. So he put the Bible down to pick up your book.
I'd have no comment on that one. I don't want to compete with
I rotated a little bit. Like one night I would read Mike's book, and then the next night I would start reading Bible stuff. But I fall asleep. I fall asleep on both of them. So
yeah.
And then Forrest is waiting for the audiobooks because Forrest lives in Alabama and he can't read.
Darn, holy smokes. I'm working on that. So I will tell you. So for folks that know this genre, there is a narrator that's very well known. I tried to get Kevin Pierce as a narrator for this. He's commonly referred to as the voice of the apocalypse. He is tied up with other projects right now, so I am actively looking for a narrator. It's a common request for audiobook. Is also a common request for the ebooks or the Kindle. So I'm working on all those right now. I was texting back and forth with Lisa Akers last night. She's another author in this genre. I recommend her as well. She's just phenomenal work. She writes inside and outside of this genre. Outside of the genre, she uses the name Lisa Akers. Within the genre, she uses LL Akers. She pointed out
some of her stuff.
Oh yeah, she's very very successful.
Yeah, I have read her stuff.
International best-selling author. She pointed out the need to get out there in the Kindle. So I'm going to follow her advice. I'm really very appreciative of Lisa for taking the time to share something with someone who was just starting out in this. That was very gracious of her. But anyhow, to the point, the point is that I'm going to take her advice and listen. And the readers, the fans are telling me the same thing. So what she says tracks. Let's get this stuff out there on Kindle as well. So that's the plan.
I love audiobooks because I drive a half hour to and from work every day. And so I listen to them then, or if I'm on a road trip or something, I love them. I love reading paper books, hardback books too, or whatever. But I really like audiobooks.
Yep.
Well, I'm with you, Forrest, but we can read, right?
Hey, well, the thing, I honestly like a book, like a physical book. I've got a Kindle and I use it sometimes. The biggest thing about the Kindle is I can get it right then, sitting on the couch. I can pull it up, download the thing right then, but I like having that right there.
Forrest is going to hook you up, Mike.
You see what he said, right?
Yeah. Big words, and you don't mind mumbling. I can record for you.
Hey, so I had a guy that worked for me down when I was doing Robin Sage, and he has a definitive Alabama accent, and he would sometimes sit around the campfire at night and read stuff that made absolutely no sense to be in that accent. Absolutely hilarious. Probably not appropriate for the books. Oh man.
Mike is a wealth of knowledge on a wide range of subjects and a great person all around. So I guess you know Russell.
Oh, thank you, Russ. Yes, I do know Russ. He's an exceptionally intelligent person as well. I can't take anything away from him.
Wow. No, and I did. And we talked about the book. I did. I've read the whole thing. I enjoyed it. I like it because you went in, and it's like I told you this morning. I like it that you went in and not trying to spoil anything, but you went into detail on the main character. The main character didn't just pop up and he's got a saw with him and he's like, I know how to run this thing and I'm just going to kill everybody kind of deal. It's like, the whole backstory. Well, it starts when he had joined the military. So you didn't get like all the kid years, in the first book. And I don't know if you'll get, when he was super young or anything, but it's got the whole backstory on it, which I really like that. And the character development on that kind of thing is what I like. It's not just some guy. It's like I told you, if you watch the Superman movie and Superman just comes flying in, you're like, what? I missed half of it. Where did this dude come from? I don't know how he appeared in all this. So that's the nice thing is it's got the backstory and like a nice detailed backstory.
And I'll tell you something that I think makes the characters more relatable is they're not perfect. The characters are going to make mistakes. No matter how well you're trained or regardless of the knowledge that you have, you can still make a mistake, particularly under stress, fatigue, whatever the scenario, or not, just on a day-to-day basis, right? We know we all do it. These characters do too. These characters, they're going to make mistakes, but they're resilient. As as is the target audience. You know, the target audience, most, I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I'll say that many of the people that read in this genre are probably preparedness enthusiasts, and they're a resilient group. So I think that they can relate to that, making a mistake but still working through it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. I've enjoyed it so far. I'm ready for the second one. I'm debating whether I'm going to order it on Amazon or if I'm just going to wait for the festival and get it from you. I'm kind of hounding. I'm like, ooh.
Well, if you get it from him at the festival, then he gets the money instead of Amazon getting the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazon gets theirs. Make no mistake.
That's why I'm waiting for the festival to get his book.
Yeah.
Then he'll sign it for you too.
Exactly. See?
Yes, I will.
Well, I was back. Like, I want to read the book before we have him on, so I went ahead and gave Amazon a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So, but no.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So really, you got into writing the books because you're listening to everybody else doing it, and you're kind of like, hey, I want to start doing some of this. What authors really, I mean, influenced you the most? And they're probably not listening, so you can say.
Probably not listening. Well, so I think one of the most common starting points for a lot of folks in this genre is probably the Going Home series. I think he actually refers to it as the Survivalist series by Chris Weatherman. His pen name is A American or Angry American. It's a common one that a lot of folks start with. I started with one that I think Chris even makes fun of this one, Patriots. It was a standalone book, it's an older book. It was one of the earlier books in the genre. It may have been the first, I'm not sure. But then as the genre matured over the years, it became kind of the norm to run them in series as opposed to a standalone book. You'll still get the standalone books on occasion. But then they, typically speaking nowadays, they're running in a series. So, I mentioned L.L. Akers or Lisa Akers, and Chris Weatherman, Franklin Horton, big fan of Franklin Horton. But you know what? I'd have to look on my phone. Sometimes I can't remember all of them, but I've got my listening device, my government listening device right here beside me.
Oh yeah.
But I can go through here.
Yeah, Mike, bringing in the Patriot series. Who wrote that? I forgot.
Well, the Patriot, I think it was a standalone book. I don't think it was a series.
Well, there was the Patriot series that.
Oh yeah.
I forgot who wrote it. I read all those. I'm pretty sure it was the Patriot series, but it was like, man, that I don't know. That guy went in like super in depth, and some of the stuff was just like, there's no way that would happen. There's no way that you could do this, and he just went in. It was just too technical on a lot of the stuff. And I'm just like, this thing is, I don't know. I enjoyed it, but it just got down in the weeds too deep for me sometimes.
Well, and Tom Abrams, that was the other one I was trying to think of. Tom Abrams and Mark Goodwin. There's a couple more that I like. What you're describing is one of the things that helped motivate me to take this step into writing, which there were certain things that I either didn't like or they were just simply missing. Why aren't all these authors addressing this certain aspect? And maybe it was because of my history, and with the military that made me see things differently, maybe than a lot of other folks. And it was kind of a motivation for me to do this. Here's what I didn't know was going to happen. Any of us that read these books know what it feels like to get lost in the book, right? And just, you're enjoying it. You're there. You can see it. You can smell it. Even, I mean, you can almost hear the sounds. Here's what I didn't know was going to happen. When I started writing these books, I got to experience that same emotional response of reading them while I was writing them. And I didn't know that was going to happen because the only time I'd written before this, again, it was political satire. It's not the same, right? Whereas this one is a story. It's world building. You're designing this alternate world that's very, very similar to the one we're in, with some slight differences. So it's relatable. The town names are the same. The road names are the same. You know, the things you're hearing on the news in the book are really the things you're hearing on the news. There's specific events that happen in the book that are real world events that we've experienced as Americans. And I found that I got lost in it, just like I do when I'm reading someone else's good work, you know. And so that was a unexpected treat and has helped me to keep on track and moving faster. So the first book took me 2.5 years to write it. The second book, 4 months. 4 months.
Because you had your foundation.
I found my stride.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Book 3 is 50%. Is 50% done right now. So I have a good team that supports me. Sean Christian and Dolores Adkins in the editing side. I have a good, phenomenal graphic designer, Rochelle Bolima. She's actually she's in Europe. She's in Poland. But I have a great team supporting me on this, and helping me to produce the quality that I want to present to the reader. You know. So the plan right now is to have book 3 out by the end of the year. I am not making promises, but that is my intent. I know what it's like to start a series and then not get another installment for 2.5 years. Yeah. I'm not going to name that author. That's not cool. But
no, that means I go find somebody else, and I may or may not remember you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. So once you get started on these, you know, you want to keep them moving. People want them. You know, like you said, you know, 108,000 word book, and they read it in 2 days. I'm like, oh, yeah. You know, it's like all the months and months and hours and late nights, and you know, and boom, they knock it out in a day or two. You know, like, oh goodness gracious, you know. So I wanted to be able to try to keep those things moving quickly for the reader. That's the right thing to do for them, and keep them engaged. And I'm listening to people. Shelley, I think even you mentioned it to me in Ohio. You said, "Hey, I don't want to have to wait a year for the next one." You know, That's a real thing. You know, so that's my intent. I'm going to try to put out 2 a year moving forward. Before you ask, I will tell you, I'm not sure how many is going to be in this series. I think it's going to be a minimum of 5, but we'll see as the storyline develops. You know, my ideas sometimes will change the direction of the storyline, and it ends up going longer. That happened in book 2. So I will tell you, 3 is not the last one, because it's not even close to being done. This story is not close. But here's the thing: I know where it's ending up. Yeah. I know where this thing's finishing. I just don't know. I don't know the exact route of how we're getting there yet. Yeah. So I'm enjoying it as much as possible. I mean, I really am. I kind of very thankful for the opportunity. You know, the only way I'm able to do this is if people or other people are enjoying it and they're buying the books. So I'm kind of thankful to those out there that are supporting me with the purchases. You know, because that's allowing me to do this. You know, it's great.
You've got a fan with me. I'll tell you that.
Thank you.
Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about what the class or the workshop that you're going to be teaching at the festival. So people, it's your workshop is a 2-part thing. You come to like a class where you're going to sit and do some stuff for an hour, and then the afternoon you're actually going to go do stuff. What can people expect? What do they need to bring? Do they need to bring anything? What do we need?
So the first part is going to be a classroom. Essentially, it's an introduction to map reading. So the course that I ran for years, it was actually a 3-day course, and the entire first day was map reading. The entire first day was classroom map reading, and then the following day we would go out and do short distance 1 kilometer and less legs of navigation. So we go out in the morning. They do a short one, and in the afternoon they do the same, and then they come back at nighttime. We would do a group night navigation. Then day 3, long distance navigation covering miles in a single day. Obviously, that's not a good fit for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take the essence of that, with the 1 hour ish, right, part indoors. It's going to be more of an introduction to map reading, because that's normally an 8-hour block, and I'm going to try to take the most important. I'm taking the most important parts of that and putting those into that 1 hour. So at least it's getting the the people that attend a basis to work from. And then
Right.
in the afternoon, or in the second part of it, however that plays out, we'll go outside. Because this is on campus, right? Is that right? The Expo Center.
Yeah. It's on their farm, so it's a farm setting is what it's at.
Okay. Well, we'll do some very basic introduction to the compass at that point. So this is how. So it's a 2-part system, right? You need your map with your compass, and so the second portion of that will show them how those 2 tools interact. And again, it'll just be an introduction, but I'll have some examples of compasses for them to try out. Have examples of the maps, and give them the opportunity to get their hands on that compass and look through it, understand how to read azimuths. You have to be able to take those azimuths and go to the map, take the azimuth for the map and go to the compass. So we'll go over that and give them that basic introduction. There's a friend of mine wrote a book, Todd Imperial. He wrote a book on navigation. He served in special forces with me. I think what I want to do is, for those that attend that there in at the festival, I'm going to have just a little handout with some references for them. Here's some compasses that I like. Here's the name of this book, where you can find it. Same things like that. There's a website that I use to print topographical maps. You can print a topographical map for anywhere you're going. If you're going to go hiking somewhere, if you want one from the preparedness standpoint, if you want a topographical map around the area you live, maybe you want a topographical map between your house and somebody that's in a mutual assistance group nearby that you want to be able to navigate from point 1 to point 2. You can custom build these maps to your needs. So
I would love to have a topographical map of my farm.
What site is that, Mike?
It's called MyTopo, MyTopo.com. Yeah.
Yes, I've been on that website. When you were telling me, I printed out a 3x5. I did a 5 square mile area around my house, and I printed that out, and I've got it. I've got to find somebody that'll laminate it for me, but I'm going to have it laminated. I want to stick it up down here in my office and have that.
Yeah. Now there is an option from MyTopo to order them laminated for an obvious upcharge for that, but that's an option as well. I'm pretty sure they still do that. I know they used to, or it's a waterproof. Maybe it's print on waterproof paper. I think that's it, actually, not laminated. So that's an option if they're still doing it.
There is my farm.
It's the little thing.
Cool.
It's the little things, yeah.
I love this.
Thomas is here. So,
hey, Thomas, how you doing?
And then Mike's first book was the first I've read that gave me the feeling I was actually learning from someone with expertise via a novel. I feel the same way. I think I learned some stuff in there for sure. So,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
sorry to hijack that. Go ahead and finish on.
Yeah. Where were we? I don't know. Where are we going?
We're talking about. You're kind of talking about what we're going to do. You're going to do a handout for everybody.
Yeah. So I'm just going to put a few things on there, something they can take with them. So again, I'll put that website that Shelly's looking at on there.
This is so cool.
there's a handful of compasses out there that are I would say more appropriate for this. Like there's a bunch of compasses, and there's so many good compasses out there. There really are. But there are a few that I prefer, and I can share those reasons why I prefer those with anybody that wants to talk to me after the class. But there's obviously, the more features you get on the compass, the more you're going to pay for them. That's to be expected. But there's some of those features that are worth the money. And it's not dramatic differences. You're talking, the difference between, a $40 compass and a $60 compass. So it's not a dramatic difference. But I'll include that on there as well. So some resources to get them started, because again, this is literally just an introduction. It's going to be just wave tops. But if they want to pursue this, maybe this will help them do so.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's so much, and it's like some of these festivals, I've seen some of the festivals advertise, learn to homestead in a weekend. It's like, you're not going to learn nothing. You're going to hit the high points of everything. This is just going to get you excited to see if you want to know more about land. Right. So it's like, you're going to essentially kind of learn how to use a compass and some stuff like that. You're not going to be setting routes for, a 20-mile trek through the woods or anything like that. It's just hitting kind of the top stuff, which is cool because you can spend an hour or so and be like, hey, I want to pursue this. Or it's like, man, it's way over my head. I'm just going to stick with my GPS and hope an EMP doesn't take the GPS out. So,
yeah, I'll tell you. So one of the courses I did in the Army was called the United States Army Special Operations Command Advanced Land Navigation Course. There's only a handful of people that get to do this. It's exceptionally challenging. The final exam on that on the last day of the course is a 40-mile movement in the mountains of West Virginia. Your pack is 65 pounds plus food and water, ends up being about 72 pounds, I think is what mine ended up being. So I crossed 13 map sheets in a day, one over 24,000 and map sheets in a day. So the skill set, it can be used in something as simple as navigating around your farm, or it could be something as extreme as, hey, I need to move 40 miles because I need to move 40 miles, right? Fill in the blank on what the emergency situation is. It is a perishable skill. I will say that. You need to knock the dust off from time to time once you learn it, for sure. But it can also be a tremendous amount of fun. It really can. You're first of all, you're out in the woods. I mean, that's a good start right there. But then you're getting to utilize these skills and it gives you a sense of accomplishment. I will tell you. So when we run the land nav course, we have these little orange and white navigation markers, orienteering markers that are the points. So when they're walking through the woods and you're trying to find this little tiny thing out in the middle of the woods, and I will tell you that everybody has reported to me. I think I saw somebody on there that said they had attended the course. Somebody popped up a minute ago. They said, I don't know who it was. Apparently somebody on here has attended the course, but I can tell you that feeling when you see that marker after you've been busting your butt up and down these hills in West Virginia, and you're sweating and you're fighting the dadgum spider webs. I mean, and then all of a sudden you realize that what you did, the skill that you've been practicing, you learned worked. And you come up there and it's a great feeling. So there's a sense of accomplishment in it as well. It's easy to get hooked on.
That's awesome.
I can imagine. And Tim Brooks, he's a crayon eater. He wants to know about Audible too.
Yeah. We're actively working on that, Tim. So I have a Facebook page for the Precipice series. If you search the Precipice series in Facebook, it'll take you there. As that is developing, we're going to keep that posted there. And it's been. I will tell you that the Audible has been a challenge for me. I have gone through narrator after narrator after narrator, doing They have like a narrator's resume, so to speak. And it's like these little blurbs of them doing their work, and I'm struggling to find the right one. There was a good book that I started several years back, and I do not remember the author, but the storyline was great. The character development was really good. It was set in Las Vegas. They had EMP in Las Vegas, and but the narrator, I couldn't enjoy it because I didn't like the narrator. And I know that's a thing, right? So, and you're not going to, and I acknowledge you're not going to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
But I want to find the one that is most likely, to be a good fit for my books. And I am working on them, actively working on it. And once we find one and we get that under contract, I will post that on the Precipice Series Facebook page.
Awesome.
I'm listening to CJ Box. It's the Joe Pickett series. It's not apocalyptic. He's like a a ranger. What do you call that? Like the people that ticket you when you get too many deer or whatever.
Oh, game warden.
Yeah, he's a game warden. The guy that narrates that, his name's David Chandler, and I love him. David
Chandler. Hold on, I am writing that down.
he does all these voices amazingly. I love him. It's just, and David, you know who's talking when he starts doing that voice or whatever.
Yeah,
I love it.
All right, I will check out David Chandler. Thank you. Those game wardens. I have my first cousin is a game warden. He's about to retire, so congratulations to him.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, don't forget. This is going to be the last promo before the festival. This is your last chance to get tickets at a discount. After the 7th, tickets are going to be full price, $35. Use the code July 4th, spelled out. It's in all caps, right?
Yep.
All caps, spelled out, July 4th. That sale ends on the 7th. You get 25% off your ticket. And if you're going to whine and say, oh my gosh, I'm too far, I looked today. People bought tickets in Florida, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. So,
Colorado. There's one that bought tickets from Colorado.
Yeah, but just today, people bought tickets in Florida and Pennsylvania and Virginia.
That's awesome.
So it's like, don't give me that. Oh, if it was closer, I mean, you can get your ticket for $26.25 for 3 days. So, I mean, that sale is going to run through the 7th, and that's the last sale we're going to have on these if you want to get your tickets for it. It's going to be a stinking amazing time. So, and Ian says, a huge dopamine hit finding a marker after sucking wind for 3 hours. Talking about the orange marker. Yeah.
Who said that?
Ian right here. Ian.
Oh,
Ian.
Yeah. Oh, it just popped up. Yeah. Yeah.
Then he also said, did you not like the narrator because the writing made the narrator biased or because the delivery was flat?
Yeah, it was actually it was the opposite of flat. He was overacting. So everything was just over the top, and it took away from the story because the author's story was good. But when you've got a narrator that's just talking and it's just like this overly excited, overly emotional, overacting, and it
doesn't allow you to relax. Because I read to relax. And even when I'm listening to it or reading the book myself or whatever, that's a relaxing time for me. And if somebody is like doing what you were describing, that's not relaxing to me because I feel like I'm being yelled at.
Yeah. So I'm hopeful we'll find one. I'm going to keep looking.
Oh, I think you will. You just got to go through. You got to go through a bunch of them to find the right one.
Yeah,
you'll find it.
And there's a lot of them that don't want to narrate fiction also. So you got to filter them by there's some people that only do nonfiction. There's some people that don't want to do post-apocalyptic. So it's surprisingly challenging.
I would say
it'll happen. It'll happen.
I would say it's a paycheck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I guess if they have a lot of work, they can pick their work, right?
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, though. Like I said, I mean, I know that I personally enjoy it, so I want to provide that for for my books.
Well,
for
I'm
everybody
excited
enjoy.
to read it. I can't wait to get my signed copy and read it.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm excited.
So, Jason, you want to talk about the festival?
Well, we haven't done any rabbit holes, and I hadn't really got any good rabbit holes. The only thing.
Okay, first of all, I just need to give a shout out to Melanie because she is on the interstate right now. She's on the interstate and she is monitoring our chat and putting all the links in there and doing all the things because Melanie rocks. We love you, Melanie.
She's the best moderator ever.
She's the best. Her and Miss Sharon, they're the best. So you've got 14 minutes to do a rabbit hole and then I got to go because I got to go meet Melanie.
Well, we'll do we'll do like a yes or no. All right. The only thing I can think of, we're talking about land navigation. Flat Earth, yes or no?
Oh man, I got a buddy of mine.
Oh geez.
And this is a common theme with his conversation. I'm going to say no. However, I'm open to listening to others provide me with the alternate theories.
All right, I'm up in the air on it.
Okay, when you fly in a plane, you can see the curvature. You can see it.
No.
Yes, you can.
I don't know.
I will tell you, I used to do a lot of high altitude mountaineering. Mountaineering was one of my passions for many, many years. I was on a mountain team. When I was in Special Forces, my first team was a mountain team, and I have gotten high enough on a mountain before to see the curvature of the Earth. So
when we're talking high, are we talking like elevation or like wacky
like
weedy?
Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, like Snoop Dogg high or like Mount Everest high? There's a difference.
I'm aware. Yeah, no, I'm going to go with elevation. Yeah. Valid question.
Julian says that space is fake also. So maybe he's talking about the moon landing. Like my son-in-law doesn't believe the moon landing happened.
I don't.
He doesn't believe it.
That's another common conversation with me and my friends. Yeah.
The moon landing was fake. And I'll tell you what.
I can tell right now what Thursday night's going to be like before the festival. It is what it is. Y'all just be prepared. If you're going to be there Thursday night, this is what you get.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's funny. One of the best and most responded to posts on our Facebook page is when Melanie posted something about it's got the astronauts with their helmets off, like when they were training. Oh man, it's got like 400 people or something have liked it, and all these comments and everything. I'm like,
people kind of lost their mind over this.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Oxygen deprivation is a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Okay. And then see the firmament right there. I go biblical on it.
Yeah, there you go.
So I don't know. One of these days I'm going to find out. So I'll be dead. I won't be able to tell y'all, but I'll find out.
Bill said his son-in-law has a friend that believes the world is flat. Hey, I got a quick question for Bill. Bill, did you get hooked up with William Zegley? Because if you didn't, I can hook you up with him through email or whatever. Just comment below. I saw your comments last night in the live, and I don't think that you could see what I was commenting, but just let me know and I'll get you hooked up with him.
Well, so, and then moon landing real.
Seth
all right,
Kruger.
Bill, I'll send you guys an email and I'll get you guys connected. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, Seth Kruger is asking if moon landing is real. You tell us, Seth Kruger, is the moon landing real? And are you Freddie's little brother?
Oh Lord.
Me and Mike might do a show one morning. It'd be like, let's debunk stuff. Or let's see how many people we can piss off this morning.
Conspiracy theories are us. The R has to be backwards. Yeah. And then that'll be the name of it right there.
Well, Mike, my morning show that I do on Tuesdays and Fridays, I could not come up with a name for it. So I would just put on the YouTube title, and put insert clickbait title here. So I did that for a few. And then Miss Sharon, one of the moderators, she was like, just name it Clickbait and Coffee. So that's what the name of the show is Clickbait and Coffee. And I'm like, it works.
Amen, Forrest. Amen.
Wow. Wow. He came off the top ropes.
Yeah. He actually thought he was awake.
Right. Well, so so I asked folks if I encourage people to comment on the Facebook page, if you've read the book, but what I do also ask is please don't post any spoilers, right?
Yeah.
So I try to abide by that too. However, Forrest,
gotta be hard.
If you read book 1, you will know my opinion on that statement. How's that sound? That's not a spoiler.
See, it's a great title for the show.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Shelly, we did space and we did flat earth. Tell everybody about the festival. Because I know you've got it pulled up, unless you're still doing a topo map.
Actually, I'm trying to connect Bill with William Zegley. So can you tell him about the festival? You got your paperwork there, right?
I want to pull it up on the interwebs. So, because I've got a new laptop since my other one busted. All right. Speakers. I'm going to hit speakers. We've got Bear from the internet, TJ Morris. William Bond is going to be there. Dr. Trevor Wilkins, the Angry Viking therapist, will be there. Dr. Trevor is freaking awesome. He's a stand-up cool dude, somebody great to talk to. We've got Jay Addison from Prepared Citizens, Brian and Susan Dudley, S&B Homestead Radio. We've got Erica and Dylan from Chronically Healthy. We've got Jeff and Elizabeth Banks going to come talk about herbal stuff. Jeff Smith, Everyday Prepper, will be there. Suzanne Shires is going to be there. So, guys, run to the website. The website's KentuckySustainableLiving.com. If you can't spell sustainable, you've self-selected yourself out on coming to the festival. So, sorry about that.
This is why I do that button. Because then he's got to get mean, right? He's got to be like offensive. We want everybody there. It doesn't. We don't care if you can spell sustainable or not. We want you to come to the festival. Jeez, Jason.
There's no 7 in sustainable.
Yeah. Somebody asked me the other day. They were like, "Can you give me your email address?" And I said, KentuckySustainableLiving@gmail.com. He goes, "Can you spell that?" And I was like, "No." And he just sat there for a minute, and I was like, "Figure it out." And he was like, "Okay."
Yes, I can. No, I won't.
Yeah. So finally, after like 30 minutes, I got an email from him. So, but yeah, and then I mean, as far as workshops, all right, workshops. We're just going to run fast on the list, fast, down, and dirty. Sourdough workshop, herbal workshop. We're going to have protection dogs and TCCC for canines, which TCCC is trauma medicine for canines. Composting, William Bond's going to be composting. We're going to be processing chickens. Shelly, your Cornish crosses are still going, right?
They're huge.
All right.
They are huge.
That's what she said. So, all right. Jacob Peterson is going to be doing basic knife use and bushcraft. Sausage and bacon making. Shelly and I are going to be showing y'all how to do that, most likely, unless we find some awesome person to do it. We'll do that. Cast iron cooking and canning. Lawrence is going to be doing canning demos. Bruce DeVries is going to be making biochar and telling you why you need biochar on your homestead. And then this guy, I don't know who he is, Mike something Adkins. I don't know this guy, but he's going to be doing land nav. Then Dayton is going to be, how do you say Dayton's last name? Bornique. I got it right. Dayton is going to be doing lock picking and escape or restraint escape.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah. Suzanne Shires is going to be doing a fermenting workshop. Greg New is going to be doing beekeeping workshop. We've got Robert is going to be doing Chainsaw 101 for us. And then Miss Katie is going to be making butter and yogurt. So
and Barbara Sue and Mary Beth are going to be doing sauces, juices, and seasonings. How to make those homemade.
And I've got to get them on the website.
You do.
I've done so much stuff. I spent quite a while working on the website today, and I've got that on my list. So
you've done a good job with the website.
See, I get a compliment every now and then, and that was a public comment, and 33 people heard it. So,
Greg New is also a Green Beret.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
I need to.
He told me that he was military. I just didn't realize. See, I wasn't wrong when I made that graphic that said we were going to be talking to an all-around badass. I was not wrong.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, that was embarrassing.
I told Jason, I said, I really don't think this guy would clarify or would classify himself as that. He seems kind of humble, but I said, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My cousins have already screenshot it. They sent it to everybody in the family. So thank you for that. Appreciate that.
I love it.
That was all Shelly. Shelly made all that. I didn't do it. So
I do all of our graphics. So yeah.
One of my editors, Sean Christian, he and great friend, he saw it before me, and he just texted me, all around badass. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, you need to open the Facebook. I said, oh no.
You gotta have a hook on YouTube, man. You gotta have a hook.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Sean's actually going to be down there with me at the festival as well. So come by and see him, owner of Stiff Lizard Baits, that handmade lures for if you're a fisherman. High end work. So, but he'll be with me that day. He's the one that spotted it first. I said, oh goodness gracious!
What? Right there, the graphic for.
See, I think that should go on the back of your book now.
Oh no!
You standing there like this, and it says "all around badass."
No.
I'll tell you. There's a lot of folks out there that have done a lot more than me. Make no mistake. I think the thing that I've been thankful for is the diversity of experience that I've gotten. That part is different than a lot of people. It's unusual for somebody to go to West Point and then go into the Army as an enlisted man and then end up as a warrant officer. I mean, that's a crazy transition. You know, the things that I got to do in the Army, some of them were less than they were less common, like the mountaineering. I got to go to the senior mountaineer course and the master mountaineer course. Then I went back and took the additional course to be an instructor. So then I was a senior mountaineer instructor and a master mountaineer instructor. I was the master mountaineer for 7th Special Forces Group for the entire group. I was the last warrant officer to command Ops Det within 7th Group. That's the after I left the team. So I was on the team for 11 years. And then I got to go over to Operations Detachment or Ops Det, and that was the Sniper Detachment, the Urban Combat Course, the Mobility Detachment, the Special Activities Team, all the secret squirrel stuff. What else? I'm missing some. Oh, the canine. I owned the canine. We had 13 multi-purpose canines. So I was the commander of all of that. So it was a very kind of unusual career path for sure. And so I count myself as fortunate. A lot of that was not because of what I did. It was being right place, right time, or being. We've got it. There's a saying. And I used to tell my students this at the end of every Robin Sage course. Every Green Beret is going to be shoehorned into one of two groups. You're either a good dude or a dirtbag. And I would explain to them that you've already started down that path while you're in the course. You're not even to the teams yet, but you've already started down that path. And you have to choose which one of those paths you're going to go down. And I told them that if they had started down the wrong path, it wasn't too late to correct yourself. And I would usually follow that up with, this is simple. Don't be a dick. to your teammates.
Right.
Special Forces is a small community, and those teams are even smaller. It's only 12 men on an ODA. So I like to think a lot of that was that I followed my advice and was a good dude to my teammates, to the community, and I still strive to do that. Once you're within the Special Forces community, you kind of stay there forever, and or you have the option to, which I've chosen to. Obviously, going back and working with the Special Warfare Center kept me around the young up and coming Green Berets, or the future Green Berets, in the case of the students, and I liked to take that. I had a unique opportunity to talk to those young aspiring Green Berets and take, nearly at that point 3 decades of knowledge and try to give them some mentorship to do the right thing. We're very fortunate right now with Pete Hegseth coming in and getting the military back on track, back to what I knew when I first came in. I have the greatest respect for the young people today that are going in and they're choosing that path to follow and do the things that I've done, because the political environment was challenging for them, more challenging than what I had, and yet they're still going in there and they're getting at it, and they're ready to move forward as America's next line of defense. So, shout out to those guys. Great respect.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So
Jill?
I have to jump off here.
All right.
If you want to do rabbit holes, you can do rabbit holes, but you are unsupervised, and don't shame me. Okay.
I won't. The last time I was unsupervised, we talked. Well, we'll get into that.
We're not going to go down that track. We're not doing that.
All right.
We're not going down that road.
We're just going to be on here for another minute or two. So.
All right. We'll see you at the festival, Mike.
Yes, ma'am. We'll see you there.
See ya.